Welcome to r/AskReddit. Ex-inmates of Reddit, what was the stupidest thing you've seen a new inmate do on his first day in prison? Shit all over a suicide cell to make a point, then stuck in there with their masterpiece. I worked an intake at the city jail and witnessed a mentally ill woman use her menstrual blood to paint her cell. Also, I worked as the janitor. That was a fun job. One guy bragging about what he did to get himself in jail. Other dude showering barefoot. Great way to get convicted. Great way to get jungle fungus. Reach across someone's food. Not wearing shower shoes in the shower. Gross. That's where everyone jacks off and comes all over the floor, not to mention W.E disease they've got. Not prison, but jail. I was getting put in irons with a tiny little next to me going to a court date. He looks at me and says loud as, "What did you do?" I looked at him and said, "We're going to our arraignments, are you stupid?" It's sad when the co's and eps laugh out loud. A slight twist. We had a pink wet floor sign that we would put up in the entrance to the showers, so everyone knew there was someone in there jerking off. The fun game was to watch the new guys, myself included, innocently walk into the entrance to the showers that very first time, past the pink wet floor sign, and then see him come skittering back out a few moments later. A new guy was in his 50s and had developed addiction problems later in life. He somehow thought that his age afforded him control of the remote for the only TV on the range. The 10 inmates that rushed his cell kicked the living shit out of him and threw him down the stairs felt otherwise. Told literally everyone how he was going to escape and showed off all the tools he was using. Man, it really depends on the block you're in by how much you can get away with. But one time we had someone who got kicked out of another dorm for snitching on someone get placed in our dorm and immediately got his ass beat. And also fake claiming you're in a gang is a very quick way to get jumped. And also don't owe people money. Call his grandma and just cuss her out and talk her like dog shit because she didn't want to put her house up for collateral to bail him out. Father-in-law did 12 years on a second-degree murder app back in the very early 90s. He told me that one time this new guy plopped himself down at the Hells Angels table and started eating breakfast. When he was told to move, he ignored them. After breakfast, the co's ended up having to cut through about 6 rolls of duct tape to get the guy loose. He never sat near the house again. Guy came and got on the top bunk. Within 10 minutes dude rolled off it and smacked his head on the concrete. Started to have a seizure. Guards eventually came and just videotaped him for a while in the middle of the room. Eventually they walked him out when he stopped, but then he ran into the wall and fell down, then started to seizure again. They just kept filming. Nobody really thought he was having seizures, but he hit his head pretty bad, so they took him to the infirmary. On the yard some Polish guy went up to every single man and shook hands and introduced himself. "Hello, I'm Pavel." Not shower for weeks. He got his clothes ripped up and he was thrown half naked into the showers. They also tuned him up pretty good. This weird guy named Robert from the TV show 60 Days In has a couple stories that could be in this thread. The stupidest may have been when he covered the prison camera with a sheet. Went to solitary 30 days. He quit the program halfway. Got busted for smoking weed with 2 buddies. When we put in the holding cell, one of them wanted mark the event by carving his name in the paint on the cell door. When we got put in a cell later, they came back and took him to solitary for a week. "Excuse me, sir, there seems to be a mistake. I'm supposed to be getting out of prison today." When the skinny little street thug white kid walked across the yard and threw a Mayan asterisk at a bench full of full-blown Crips. Didn't see him much after that shitstorm. Worked as a corrections officer. Guy got busted for sexual assault of a minor. Figured everyone else in the tank was on similar charges, so began talking openly about it, feeling he was safe. We had to subdue 5 guys who jumped him in the rec yard. Guy was sent to the hospital as he was fairly unresponsive. He was sent to protective custody after that. Eat the candy bar found on his pillow. Not an ex-inmate, but an ex-co. Dude came in on drug charges. First thing he does upon walking into the pod is announce loudly enough that I could hear that he got drugs past the dipshits in intake. Yeah, not the brightest bulb, that one. Skinny kid, hippie type got busted with some weed. Someone else on the range was getting beat up for something or other, and the kid tried to intervene. Just said hey, leave him alone. Got beat to within an inch of his life in the shower. Pro tip, in jail, mind your own business. Ask my friend what his was. He told me on his first day he went to his cell and brushed his teeth and the shaving cream looked just like toothpaste and used it. Kid came in, and I assume he has watched a lot of movies cause he figured he'd fight the biggest guy on the range. Lol. He wasn't even the toughest guy in the hospital he woke up in. Told a kid there was a pool out at yard. Guard saw him waiting to go out in shorts with his shower towel and asked him what he was doing. Kid said I'm gonna go swimming outside, it looks nice. Don't think I've laughed so hard in my life. It's unoriginal but always funny. Not an ex-inmate, but my mom's friend is a retired prison guard for a maximum security prison. He'd been there for a long time and a lot of the inmates liked and respected him. There were a few instances where new inmates would try to be difficult or attack him to impress the older inmates. The newbies would get beat up pretty good and wouldn't cause trouble for him anymore. Don't mess with well-liked guards. Noobs always be letting people give them free. Next thing you know they're crying on the phone thanks to extortion. I wheeled my cart to the stairs with my footlockers, mattress and pillows on it. I carried up my footlockers and shut my cell door. I forgot my mattress downstairs. Somehow, no one had stolen it by the time I had the cops open my cell door and I went down to get it. Obligatory not me, but I know a guy, and his cellmate was a young 19-year-old kid. The kid was confused, and in the course of talking about their lives admitted he was bi. The guy I know told him hey man that's cool, but don't tell that to anyone else in here seriously. Some guys told a new guy that if he told the guard he was suicidal the guard was obligated to give him a cigarette and let him smoke. What really happens is they take away all your shit, throw you in a turtle suite, and put you on suicide watch for 2 days in an empty cement room. I hated jail, but goddamn I had some laughs in there. Seen a guy flood the day room shower to take a bath, complete with a duck made out of TP. This was in county. Prison was what you would expect, but county jail is where the real shit show is. Guy thought the hot pot was for everyone and went to medical with his jaw broke for talking shit when he got called out. No context. He straight up just slammed his head on a wall moaning for a good amount of time. There was a new guy who came in one day. You could tell he was gay by his mannerisms. A few days into his sentence, he was forced to suck a guy's dick. He bit it off. Don't talk. Bookin', shut your mouth. Be where you're supposed to be, and don't touch anything that isn't yours. Don't ever gossip. I can't stress that enough. There's number 100% way to stay safe, but the above is about the best you can do. Standard dumb shit is people either trying to be a tough guy or thinking they've got a friend. Both roads lead to the same end more often than not. So this actually about me. My first day inside I sat down at a table in my block. Some guy came over and said it was his seat. Me being young and dumb thought I'm not gonna get punked on my first day, so I told him it's my seat now. He walked away and came back with 3 other guys and they beat me pretty bad. Believe it or not I was the one who got the mark for it too. Guard wrote it down as I initiated the fight, spent some time in the hole for it too. A older inmate like 60 years old or so brought in a Santa sack-sized bag of food items acquired from canteen from cell block B into block C, which is the good behavior unit, hoping it would buy him immunity. News got around within minutes that he was in for battery on his ex-wife and then got rolled for the sack of goodies. Guards looked the other way and laughed. Not me, but my dad was a co. He told me a story of a big guy who was relatively new who tried picking on another guy who was much smaller than him, only to have his ass handed to him by the little guy. Pretty much just hearing younger guys lie trying to impress. Odds are if you are real G then you can tell who's who. The ones who get caught lying are the ones who have the hardest time, because trust level is low to begin with, include lies and yay. I'd say this is mostly for JDCs, but county jails and prisons have the same problem I'm sure. Punch the biggest guy on the block to establish dominance. Female lieutenant was checking body tats as part of the intake process. One dude was a pretty boy tatted head to toe. She's writing all his tats down, seeing if any of it's gang related and shit. Then dude just straight up drops the jumpsuit. I'm sure he had tattoos on his tube steak. Caught a major case his first hour into TDCJ. This was in Huntsville at the holiday unit. I took my mattress down to get it stamped. 3 flights of stairs.